definitely included. It just really fills my heart. And that's what makes the Informer so important to me, what we do here. Not only our staff, but hopefully we're making that kind of a difference in the community. That's what my dad did. And we want to continue that legacy. And there's some funny stories there. Especially, I get it. You walk into a room with a bunch of old folks, and Chevy saying, "We ain't old people," but we are. I mean, really, to them, we are. And that's why we want to pass this baton. We don't want to be that institution that says, you got to, well, you do have to prove yourself. And I think those two, uh, Serafina and Sam, proved that they have proven themselves, as well as Claudia with the bridge and Lafayette and Desmond and all of them. So that's the next generation of the Washington Informer and WI Bridge. And we hope that the next generation in your household will follow them as well. It's always amazing to hear people say to me, my mother reads the Washington Informer, or my grandmother reads the Washington Informer. And I'm like, well, do you read it? I mean, if it's coming into your house, do you read it as well? And what can we do to make it better? So the legacy continues, and I'm very, very happy about that. So Sherry said I had to toast myself, which I'm going to do. So this is my toast to the Washington Informer. All righty. They say it's happy hour somewhere, so it's happy hour here at the Washington Informer. Ron Burke. Ron Burke is our director of advertising and marketing. We see half of his face, and so maybe we can see the other half if he spins his camera around. Fantastic.
Okay, is
And
that
Ron
better?
is actually, yes, Ron
Okay.
is. Gosh, Ron, how long have you been with us?
20 years,
Oh my
Denise.
God, time flies when you're having fun.
I'm telling you. And when I started, I actually had hair and no gray in my mustache.
I have some of those photos. We should have showed them. So, I mean, everybody knows that when you came to the Informer, I courted you or hounded you or whatever would say for 4 years. I tried to get you here because I just felt like you could really help to make a difference. And when you finally walked through that door, I mean, we've never looked back. You've just made a tremendous impact, not only for the advertising and the work that you brought, but for the relationships you've developed. And I
Mhm.
want you to talk about relationships because that's really key for you.
Yeah, so I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to work with you, and that's one of the things that you said. Come work with me, not for me. And so I've
Oh, yeah.
always that's always resonated with me. And my philosophy is very, very simple. Create relationships
Who's
and
next?
provide good customer services. I think that that's something that we're doing quite well, quite effectively at the Washington Informer. And it's about. I think everything starts with the customer service. We sell advertising. You can get a $50 ad with the Washington Informer, or you can get a full page ad that's about $3,000, and we don't differentiate in how much you're spending. Everybody gets the same level of customer service. Or if you just call in for an inquiry and you never place an ad, you're going to get the same level of customer service from the Washington Informer. And I think that
Indeed.
we pride ourselves on service, and that kind of leads me to patting ourselves on the back for today. 56 years of being a small business, and we're still going. 56 years of being a woman owned business, and we're still going and growing. 56 years of being an African American business, and we're still going and growing. And, so we're checking a lot of boxes. And, I think that that's important to pat ourselves on the back, because think of how many small businesses, African American owned businesses, women owned businesses that don't make it a year or 2 years, and we're still going and growing after 56 years. So, everybody that's on the screen, clap your hands, pat yourselves on the back, because including our readers and our followers, because we all play a part in this. That we all have the relationship of building and maintaining and nurturing the Washington Informer. So happy anniversary to us.
Thank you so much, Ron. I know you're up in Pennsylvania in a empty hotel with a bunch of other publishers representing the Washington Informer.
So let me just say this, and I don't want to make this a political statement. I'm up in Trump country. You know, I mean, the hotel right across the street is a big campaign office for Trump. All up and down the street where I am in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, all up and down the street, all of this vote for Trump, 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 Trump. And so that just makes me want to just say,
Go
I'm not
vote. That's
telling
the
you,
bottom line is the
go vote,
go vote.
go
Exactly.
vote.
Exactly.
You
All
know,
righty. All right, Ron, thank
go
you so
vote.
much.
All right.
Stay safe. And I want to also just give a shout out to a couple of folks. Lindy Villacasi, you all look out for her byline in the Washington Informer. She's on right now in our chat. And we're so Lindy is a wonderful writer, up and coming star. And continue to look out for her stories. They're going to be great. She did a great one this week on the impact of COVID-19 on domestic violence. Thank you, Sherry. And it was a great story. And she's done so many great stories. So, Lindy, thanks for tuning in. We're going to now go to a video from one of our staff members.
Hi, my name is Angie Johnson. I work with the Washington Informer for 10 years. My role is the office manager. In addition, I'm the circulation manager and event planner. As you can see, most of us wear multiple hats. I want to say congratulations to you, Denise, on the 56th anniversary of the Washington Informer newspaper.
Thank you. Askia Muhammad, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm honored to be with you. And one of the old folks, as you said, and although you reminded me many years ago, I think at Wilhelmina Rolock funeral, that your mother told you that we are the elders now.
Yes.
But you don't look old. You look like you found the fountain of youth, and you've carried on so well your dad's legacy, and really made the paper bigger and better. And I'm so honored and proud to be a part of the Washington Informer. I'm proud that the Washington Informer sponsors the Scripps spelling bee. I'm proud that the Washington Informer really brings the news that our community wants to see. And so I'm just honored to be a part of it and to have been one of the old folks and have been around for a long time. But then when I see the young Washington Informer Bridge and all the young people that you brought in, which is a testament to the leadership that you brought, not just sitting on your laurels, not just holding the reins of power to yourself, but rather dispersing it and building and strengthening the newspaper and all its expressions in such a way that it really is a great community institution.
You know,
Oh,
Askia,
and my
go
toast.
ahead. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I should have mine in a thermos, but Chevy gave me a real glass, so I don't know.
I got coffee.
Good. But it's interesting because I mean, we've got us and our elders, or we are the elders on this side, and I've got the young folks on this side. And rather than feeling like I'm being pulled apart, it's just it's strengthening me to bring us together. And
Yes.
that's what's so exciting. I am so glad that you're still with us and that as a writer, as a columnist, when we do our surveys, one of the top columns folks love to read is yours. And so keep doing what you do, not only here but also for WPFW. We certainly love hearing you on the air. So I want to give a shout out to a radio station that we've partnered with over the years. And keep up the great work, Askia.
Thank you. And I'm honored to be with you and a part of you and really a part of the tradition and just watching the Informer grow and take root in young people and old people. And wow, you mentioned grandparents and parents reading the paper. It's like, yeah, but we continue to move forward.
Right. Well, thank you so much. I know you have a show to do. I love listening. I won't be able to listen today, but I will definitely keep you tuned in, and I'll look for your column. You always get it in on time. So thank you so much. So, oh, another video. Wow. Okay, Sherry, you got the.
Hello, my name is Mabel Neville. I'm the bookkeeper here at the Washington Informer newspaper. I've been working here at the Informer for almost 20 years now. I would like to congratulate Denise and the Washington Informer on their 56th anniversary. Wow. Way to go, Informer.
You know, it's funny, Dr. Promise. This goes good. So good to have you. I have to laugh because you know we're almost like the well, I don't want to categorize people, but yeah, in the Informer, you wear a bunch of hats. You know what I'm saying? Today you might be the office manager. Tomorrow you might be in charge of circulation. The next day you're putting a party on. You know, the next day you got to write a story. You got to read captions. But that's the way we make it happen. And thanks to you, I mean, you joined us not only as we were doing the Scripps National Spelling Bee, but fortunately I was able to grab you to become a part of Washington Informer Charities, our nonprofit that my dad actually started, but we got off the ground. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me here. I just realized as I was listening that I've actually been working with the spelling bee since 16 years.
Wow.
And so I started as the director of literacy for DC Public Schools and coordinated the spelling bee at that point. And then when I retired 10 years ago, I've still served as the head judge at the citywide spelling bee. So yes, it's been a while. And one of my great pleasures is joining the Washington Informer Charity Board and being able to continue the literacy direction of the Washington Informer's charities in order to make sure that we're really trying to close the achievement gap for children across the city, in fact, across the DMV.
Well, you know, I always like to remind people that the Washington Informer was the first weekly newspaper and the first African-American newspaper to participate in the National Scripps Spelling Bee. We brought in another weekly, the Loudoun County Times, actually that same year. But we had to fight Scripps in order to get into the spelling bee. It wasn't a hard fight, but you know, like I said, my dad and my stepmother were always ready to, you know, to knock down barriers, and they did. And so we've been sponsoring the spelling bee now. This would represent our 39th year. So we're so glad that you've been able to be a part of that and to be a part of the Washington Informer family.
It has been my great pleasure, and I'd like to toast the Washington Informer Charities with my glass of water and a wine.
Okay, doke. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, doke. Thanks much. And have a great day. I think now we're going to go to Stacy Brown. You all know Stacy. You've seen his articles. He's a national reporter for the Washington Informer. And many of you all may think, oh, Stacy Brown, the woman who writes the Informer. No, Stacy is our brother who writes a column or articles every single week. He's the hardest working journalist I know in not only in the Black press, but in the media, period. So, Stacy?
Hi, I'm Stacy Brown, the senior writer for the Washington Informer. I've been in this role for 7 years now. But you know, I think about back in 1964, Dr. Calvin Roloff founded this great newspaper, and he probably never imagined that all of these years later, 56 years later, that his daughter, Denise Roloff Barnes, would carry on his vision, his mission, and do it in a way that there's no question he would be extremely proud, just as we are all proud to be a part of the Washington Informer family. Happy anniversary, Denise. You deserve it, and may it be another 56 years. Take care.
Thanks, Stacy. And I need to work on that background. That really works. Walt Carr, how are you?
Great, doing just great.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am so excited because of what you have been able to accomplish with your book. You are a renowned cartoonist. People always talk about how much they love the cartoon that runs on an editorial page. I am honored to be one of those papers that you know just thought that you had a lot to offer to our readers. And now you've written a book and you've been written about in other publications across the country. Congratulations.
Well, first of all, I want to congratulate the Informer on your 56 years of serving the Black community. If you want to know the truth about the Black community, you need to rely on the Black press. And you guys have done a great job. And when I hear these years being thrown out, I've been with you cats for 27 years.
Wow.
1993 is when I started drawing editorial cartoons as opposed to single panel gag cartoons. I always felt that for the longest time that you never saw Black and brown people in political cartoons on the editorial pages of mainstream press unless it was something catastrophic or negative. And I think that, you know, we have our spin, our perspective on world issues, national issues that impact the Black condition. And I felt like I could fill that void, and that's why I switched. And I've been enjoying it ever since.
People don't understand the value of editorial cartoons. I do. And I think those of us in the press do. A lot of people kind of take it for granted that anybody can put a cartoon together, but this takes a little work on your part.
Well, it takes a little work, and at the same time, it doesn't hurt to be as old as I am, because I've been through the journey, and I've seen it live, and I've seen the changes, and I just feel like I've got this gift, and I feel obligated to use it. And oftentimes, issues dealing with the Black condition, a lot of the conditions are so dire, I can not always provoke a laugh in every cartoon. But if I can inform you, if I can educate you, and perhaps even inspire you, I feel like I've accomplished my mission.
So the last thing, do you have a copy of your book in front of you?
You know I do.
All right. I want folks to see it. And how can they order a copy? It's called
on
Just
Amazon.
Us. On
It's
Amazon.
available on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. And we may try to make some available here for folks who might want to order. So we'll contact you about that as well. But know you can get a copy of Just Us by Walt Carr on Amazon. Get some of the best cartoons, not all of them, just some of them that he's created. So I want to thank you so much for being with us. I really, really appreciate this.
Thanks for inviting me. I really, really appreciate that as well.
All righty. Have a good one. So, wow, Sherry, who's next? Shantella? Oh my goodness. Shantella Sherman. We heard a little bit about Shantella earlier. So, Shantella?
Hi, this is Dr. Shantella Sherman. And for the last 30 years or so, I've made a career as both a journalist and most recently as a historian. While I celebrate the historical markers and the journalistic treasures, one of the things I would say I'm most proud of is being a part of the Washington Informer newspaper. From being its managing editor to being currently its special editions editor, I can say that I have grown tremendously under the leadership and guidance of DC's homegrown African American newspaper. To the staff, bravo and cheers. You've done an amazing job over the course of the last 56 years. To Denise Roloff Barnes, its publisher, I can only tell you that words, I fail at finding quite the right words to say how much I appreciate all that you've done in helping me to grow both as a professional and as a person. The Washington Informer has become not only a staple in the Washington, D.C. area, but globally. And it is also a training ground where very important things come together with very important people. And that could not happen without your leadership. So again, happy 56. I wish you 56 more. And I hope that we can continue to move forward, upward, onward, always, because the Washington Informer is the future. Thank you so much and happy birthday.
Oh.
Thank you, Shantella. Whoa, Sharon. Hey guys, what's up? I haven't seen you all in person in like what was it Christmas
I think
Eve.
it's
Whatever. It's been too long. It's been too long. But for those who don't know, when you look at the copy, when you look at the issue of the Washington Informer, the print edition, these are my two brothers in spirit who make it all happen and have been doing so. I thought the world was going to fall apart when you all left to go to DC to go to Chicago. But hey, you know, the internet makes things happen.
Absolutely. That it does. Just wanted to say thanks for making happy hour on Friday start at 1:30 as opposed to the typical. So yeah, a huge toast to you. A huge toast to you, and thank you for, good stuff.
You know, Lafayette, go ahead, Jaron.
No, I was just going to say we did it for 5 years, I think. Was it 5 years? And then we went away for a few and couldn't wait to get back. So it's just about 5 years again now. And we're so happy to be back and so happy to be a part of this. And I just wanted to thank you so much for letting us be a part of your team. It means so much to us, and we couldn't be happier. So thank you for that.
Well, I just know, and Dan and I talked about this, and you know, Jaron, when we used to have, I used to bring the paper to you all or come to you all on Wednesday nights to proof the paper.
Yeah,
and we couldn't wait to get finished so we could have our toast. It was like, we got to finish. You know.
We can't open the wine until we're done.
Until we're done. It could be 11, 12 o'clock at night, but we had to get it done. And you all did. And I mean, it's just been great. And you've been able to work with, our different editors, and it's, hey, so thank you for being with us. Thank you for celebrating this day. And, just, we got another 56, another 56 years to go.
That sounds good.
So please take care of yourselves.
Right back to you. And we'll toast in person one day. I just wanted to say one thing before we stuck out. Zebra's been around for almost 23 years.
Exactly.
This is and has been by far the most important, meaningful, that our company has ever undertaken, working with you and the Informer and Ron. And I just don't know how to express how grateful and how honored we both are.
And I did that exactly. I mean, your passion has lit up in us, and we love you for all of this, Denise. So thank you for letting us be a part of it. And we're with you for the next 56 if you'll have us.
That's true.
No question. Did you get my cookies?
Those were yours. We got cookies with no milk. They were so good too, Denise. We got cookies, but there was no note on the cookies.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I just want to let you know that the organization I sent those from, actually the proceeds or whatever they do supports women in Alexandria, Virginia who are looking for jobs. It's a job program for them. Wow. So I'm glad you got them. I'm glad you enjoyed them. And I'm sorry you didn't get the wine basket I sent you. Somebody got it. I don't know where it went. We'll do that again next time. But thank you.
Here's to you guys.
All right, thank you. And before I go, I just want you to say real quickly, because I mentioned you all by name, but we see down here zebradesigns.net. Just give us a quick commercial about the company.
Knock your bad self out.
Go right ahead.
We are a graphic design agency. This is Jaron. This is Dan. And we've been working in DC, in the DC area for 22 years. We do lots of nonprofits and things. We obviously work with Denise. We've sort of switched to the more digital side as well. So you can find us at zebradesigns.net.
But we do everything from print to digital to websites to everything. So if you ever have a design need, and thank you for the plug, Denise.
Thank you very much.
Anybody, hit us up. We would love it.
Hey, you can't work for the Washington Informer unless you have 3 more jobs. See you all later. Thank you. All righty. Okay. So, wow. Talking about 3 jobs, we got a young person that we're working on right now. And I say working on because I think this is her first experience with the Black press as well. We are part of the Google News Initiative, and she's our Google Fellow. And Erica Johnson, I'm just so glad that you were able to join us as well.
Hello. Thank you. My name is Erica Johnson. I am the Google News Fellow for the Washington Informer, and I want to take this time and say thank you on their 56th anniversary for having or keeping opportunities available for young people like me, millennials who, especially during COVID, that might not have had an opportunity to do this work in journalism had it not been for them and their sustainable programs. I also appreciate the fact that they welcomed me into the family and provided this opportunity, but then also just being, focusing on Black news and Black people and staying true to who they are and the local community, the DMV area, which I also live in Virginia. So I appreciate the work that they've done. I appreciate them for taking me on. I especially appreciate their openness and honesty. So thank you.
I love Erica. She is a graduate of the master's degree program at American University, comes really equipped with a lot of digital and social media expertise. And so we're trying to tap all of that before those 10 weeks are over, which will be pretty soon, but I'm glad she's a part of the family. And of course, I mean, if it were, and I hate to put it that way, but if it were not for a fire, I think at Eastern Market,
Yes.
Khalid Najiallah would not have been a part of the Washington Informer. Now, I know you're in the midst of a juice fast, which
Yes, ma'am.
I'm amazed of, but it's working for you. But I could tell your energy's a little low. But that's why I'm explaining. Explaining it to our viewers because you've been drinking juice for 5 days.
Yes.
Hey, Khalid, how are you? Photographer extraordinaire.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Khalid left us to go work for the mayor of the District of Columbia and all those great folks, photos that you see of Mayor Bowser. Were you there before Bowser?
No, I came on. I left and went to the fire department under the Gray administration, and Mayor Bowser hired me as her photographer shortly after.
Well, she knows a good photographer when she sees one. So
yes, but it all started at the Washington Informer. So and this, I mean, if it wasn't for you, your belief and giving me a chance, I wouldn't be where I'm at today in my career. So my hats always goes off to the Washington Informer because it's my starting point. And from there, I've been able to take pictures all around the world, and my photojournalism skills definitely improved. I mean, I had Victor Holt, Roy Lewis, Maurice, Rob Riley, and if I'm leaving somebody out, I apologize. John. It was just when I came in, I was a young kid on the block, and being a young kid on the block, I got taught well. So then, my writing enhanced under Chantel, under Sansa Ray, Kevin, and under the late Denise Bonds, who stayed on me more than anyone. So I'm appreciative of the Washington Informer. We've been informing the community 56 years. So I'm appreciative.
Now I'm over here looking at Chevry. I'm thinking because she said, "Let me say something to Khalid." I don't know what she wants to say, but
I forgot Chevry.
Yeah.
Chevry.
Oh no, she did.
No. Because Chevry, when she came in, Chevry was a thorn, boy. She's a hard worker. Oh my gosh, she was a thorn. And I didn't mean to be sexist by just putting all the men in, because we had a couple of great female photographers too, and I felt bad. So Chevry she came in and, look at where she is now. She's producing, she's the editor. And it's just a great feel to be a part of such I didn't want to do mainstream or what they would call quote unquote mainstream press. I remember when I was a kid growing up in Chinatown, your office was there. And, it was something that who knew I was going to go into journalism, but it was something I'm used to seeing Black press, and, growing up with a grandmother You know, if it wasn't, you didn't get your news if you didn't get it from Black press. So when I started off my career in journalism, I was like, I'm not going anywhere else but Black press. And with your leadership, you allowed me to cover stuff. When I covered Jenna 6, you said, Khalid, if you're going down there, you know, on the ground. And that opened up the doors for me to shoot for other Black papers as well. And I prided myself throughout my career. I think I shot for one main, well, I shot for the Washington Times. That was it. No, I would never go mainstream because it was about us and about telling our story. And you enable me to tell my story and tell the story of other people, especially the people I documented through the lens. So I'm thankful.
You know, one of the things that I always have to tell folks is that, you know, if you're good at what you do and you have a passion for it, then we have a place for you.
Yes.
And it wasn't like we had to make you a great photographer or a person who understood news, or who understood what photojournalism was all about. You came with that.
Yes.
And so how do we utilize that skill? And so that's what I think is so phenomenal. I remember, and he's not here, but well, he is still here, but he switched over to medicine, but Akmal Muakil. I don't know if you ever met him, but Akmal shot with us when I first started here at the Informer full-time as a managing editor back in the 70s. And he is the one that set the stage for me to understand, what do you want out of photographers? And when I first met you and you called me, I don't know if was it from the fire at Eastern Market?
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, you called me about the fire. You said, look, I got photos at Eastern Market that nobody has. I'm like, this man will get up in the middle of the night and go get those photos. And I'm like, I got to figure out how to get him on board. So because you have the passion for what you do. And I felt as though we needed you as part of the family. So,
and I am so thankful. I mean, I'm only a phone call away. I am just, you know, I'm grateful every time I ride past the office. I just think if it wasn't for this office, I wouldn't possibly be where I'm at today. So, you know, and that's always, it's humbling to me to be a part of such a great organization. And to see that you continuing 56 years strong. I don't have any wine to toast.
That's all right. No, you're drinking juice. Plenty of juice. What are you drinking?
I have coconut
water. All right. That's so a good deal.
I would toast with the coconut water. And I thank you.
I'll
thank
toast
you
with
so
my
much.
wine. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And last thing I just want to say is that, you know, through our relationship, I watched you birth your wife. Two boys. Two boys. So if you all don't follow Khalid on Facebook, follow him. He's got some great daddy stories. And, you know, it's like the new chapter of your life to see your daddy stories.
My family has been so supportive. I mean, if it wasn't, I think family, I got to give them a shout out because they were there. And especially when I was getting up, traveling, pursuing my passion. So, and my sons, Yasir and Kadari, I mean, Yasir was born, and I think I had him on my, I carried him on my chest.
Yes, you did.
From a month old till he was about 2. I couldn't carry him no more with me on my chest at every assignment. So my Kadari is actually, that's him in the background. Kadari is actually a Washington Informer baby. So literally, because he came to the office, he was on my chest. He was everything, and you know, my 2 daughters, they were a part of the Informer family.
Yes.
So it's always a great thing. You know, and you gotta get my family because I was traveling. I mean, if you called, if it was Jenna 6, if it was New Orleans, if it was Selma, you know, I was like, Miss Barnes, I'm on my way. And you was like, Khalid, we not, you know, we can't. I said, don't worry about it. I said, Miss Barnes, just don't worry about that. just tell me what the deadline is for the pictures. And I'm gonna make sure they're in, especially for Jenna 6. I'm not worried about that aspect of it. I'm worried about the aspect of when is the deadline and how are we going to get these pictures in. So I appreciate you so much.
Likewise, Khalid. And how long is this fast lasting?
It was over. I'm eating some foods, but I felt so good. I lost some weight.
Yes.
So So I feel
You've
so
lost
good.
weight before, and I thought that
Yes,
was good because you were carrying a lot of weight, and I guess in addition to those babies. So I'm
yes,
glad to see you slim down, and
yes.
that's we
I'm
need you.
almost back.
Okay.
So, but I've stopped it. Well, I'm stopping it mid afternoon today. Then I'm gonna pick it back up on Tuesday for another
Okay.
3 days.
All right.
I
Well,
think
we'll
I'm,
talk
I think I'm
about that
going
a little
too
bit
fast,
more.
crazy. Yes.
I need some encouragement. That is Khalid Najee Allah, photographer for the Washington Informer. And I want to thank those of you all. I know the show is going long. It's almost 2 hours. Anthony Tillman, thank you so much. I mean, he's another photographer, what do you call it? Photographer, videographer, and social media icon in the DC area who is a part of the Informer team. I don't know how we would do what we do without him. And then all of the rest of you all who are watching, we want to thank you for spending this time with us. And we're going to roll on to the end right now with our editor, the one that Serafina called the guy with the jewelry, Dominique Kevin McNair. Kevin, welcome to Win TV. Unmute yourself so we can hear you.
All right, you got me?
All right, there you are. There you are.
Yes.
Thanks for hanging in there. How are you?
I'm always tired, but I'm drinking coffee today, not wine.
Okay, all right.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've heard some funny stories about you.
I know it's something. I got a little teary eyed, with Serafina and Sam, but they're my children, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah, and how your predecessor really worked with them, and you as well. And you walked into this under Denise, if you could say under Denise per se, but she was our editor. It's so funny because when we lost Denise, a lot of people, it's interesting to have an editor and a publisher with the same name.
Yes,
right? Denise R. Barnes and Denise Barnes. And even my father got confused about that years ago. He was like, when did you start working for the Washington Times? I'm like, Daddy, that was the other Denise. But she ended up with us and spent many years and became sort of a great mentor and teacher, for the staff, including you. So, but here you are now filling her shoes and being a real critical part of our family. So tell me what it's like.
Well, I've been a reporter for 25 years now. And 24 years been with the Black Press. And I'm committed to that, until the end. I think about the mentors that have been a part of my life, Denise W. But I would just want people to understand when I came on board, my mother was dying. And, she died a year ago. And it's kind of emotional for me, but the Washington Informer helped me do my job, but to be faithful to what God tells us to do, to honor thy mother and father. I buried my father and then my mother, all while working for the Informer. And, sometimes you drop some balls because you can't do but so much. But Chevy would help pick them up. Serafina would, Barrington would, Stacy would. And so we assist one another. I look at that word as a gift, not as a demeaning term, because we're really a family. And, Denise has been there for me from day one. I've had an amazing run. I started as a contributing writer and then staff writer and then the managing editor and then the editor. And I'm very proud of what we do, who we are. I want people to understand that you got to be persistent, you got to be prepared, you got to be passionate, and you've got to have a sense of you got to be ready for the pressure. It's not easy doing what we do. Every week is different, and that's why I like it so much. But we're a real family. We argue and we all those things. That's what happens with families, I just gotten permission to argue with my publisher, and while being respectful. But look, I couldn't do anything besides what I do. I tell people all the time. I met Gwen Brooks when I was 10 years old, and I knew right then that I wanted to be a writer. And from Sam Logan in Michigan Chronicle to Janice Ware in Atlanta to the Reeves family in Miami, and then here, and Denise W. is my heart. I loved her, and she helped me realize I was not as good as I could be. And that's a real lesson because, I won awards and thinking I'm all that. She tore me up, like up and down. I was like, wait a minute, this woman's got some issues going on. But she was right. And that's why I do what I do with the young folks and the old folks too. I mean, we can do better because we have the ability. God has given us the ability to do better. And
Kevin,
so
I want to just bring people's attention to your weekly column that runs in the
thank you.
Informer. And I
Yeah.
want people to know, I mean, you've been doing this now for a couple of years.
Yes.
And they're quite interesting, because they are from Kevin's perspective about things that matter to Kevin, but also matter to the readers. And I just wanted to make sure people know that this is you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I want to just say on that, this past year, people look at the paper and we have a banner that says winner of 5 SPJ awards. I got an award for one of my commentary. But what matters more to me is the fact that Sam got his first writing award. Anthony got his first award as a photographer. William got his first award as a writer. And then Stacy, of course, brought in the rear. And Stacy and I are used to getting awards, but we're only as good as your last byline. So when you get another one, you feel affirmed. But 5 of us came together under the auspices of the Washington Informer and Denise, you allowing us to do what we do. And for me, that's the most important accomplishment I've made in my life because it shows the transition of the older and the younger. But I appreciate the shout on that. I hope people check me out, look at my website, dkenmcnear.com. But I'm in it to win it. I'll probably be writing when I'm 100 and something years old, as long as Denise lets me do my thing. It's a true honor. I mess up sometimes, but that's being human. But my spirit is to make this the best we can be. And I put my staff, Chevy, and all the rest up against anybody, anywhere on the planet. We are just as good. And many times we're better. It's just that people want to minimize us because of the color. But don't get fooled. Don't get it twisted. We are that daggone good. And it's only because Denise lets us be that good. She trusts me. And I love you for that, Denise. Mama, I love you and all of the people that work. But this sister is righteous, y'all. And that's why we are, because we cannot be anything but that. And it's been an honor and a privilege to be the editor. And we've got some more work to do. So I got to get back to doing, as they say, typing here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. And I want to know, at least let folks know that the Washington Informer also has a mascot. I don't know if she's nearby.
Oh, no, she's not. I don't know where she is. Baby girl, she's somewhere. Come here, baby girl.
Okay,
She makes me in here real quick. But
Chevy
anyway.
said I should call her a mascot, but I am calling her
She
her
is.
mascot.
No, that's Chevy's hating. Okay. No, y'all seen my boxer. She's my mascot. And I just adopted another dog. We found a stray. So now I've got two, a big dog and a little dog.
Baby girl and Duchess. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
She's
We've seen baby girl in photographs. So and she does come to the office before COVID. She came. But that's okay. We're glad to have her.
Oh, wait. Here. I gotta show you. This is baby girl. That's her right there.
Yes, that's her. That's her.
That's
I need to get her a Washington Informer T-shirt. So
You do, yeah. But and even that, I'll tell you, even that with that, when I was bringing her along, because she was my mother's support dog, so I had to keep her with me, and they were real cool about letting her come in the office. And now everybody asks about her. Sometimes they don't ask about me. And want to know where's baby girl. It's all good.
Kevin, thank you so much. Thank you. And we got another paper to put out, but I'm so glad. There are so many other people that are part of our staff that we didn't mention today. And I just do want to give a shout out to John DeFreitas, who covered sports for us, a photographer for many years. He's one of our staff members who was stricken by COVID and had to relocate and is not really shooting now, but I never say never. And so we might see John again with his photographs, but we want to give a shout out to him. And also, as some mentioned, Maurice Fitzgerald, Mr. Robert Ridley, Sansa Ray Tate. And you all may know that So many others are still in the area. Victor Holt, some of our former editors. I mean, everybody, Rahel Tesfamariam, who is now married, and we would have wanted to have had her on the show as well, but she's about to, I've seen some pictures of her on Facebook, and I know she's about to become a mama. And so I'm really excited about that because I knew her when. And so everybody else. So, you know, folks, thank you for supporting the Washington Informer. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you, Chevry, for bringing this show together. How come you're not joining me? She won't join me. That's awful. But anyway, thank you, Chevry Lassiter, for making this show possible. Thank you all for watching. And we're going to end now because thanks to you all and being a part of this program, we're now getting sponsorship for the show, which we're excited about. And so this segment of the program and others, we've got Verizon, we've had AARP, and we have Pepco. And so we're going to end the show with a word from Donna Cooper, the woman we're so proud of, is the vice president of Pepco, to give us some closing remarks. So again, cheers. We're going to work on 57. All righty.
I want to extend our congratulations on 50 years of excellence to the Washington Informer. For well over a half of a century, you have been sharing stories, sharing images through your newspaper. And one of the things that we wanted to recognize and note is that this particular platform that I'm participating on this evening is really a demonstration as to how you evolve and ensure that you are continuing to educate and get information to communities. WIN TV is to be recognized as well as commended as another platform that you are utilizing to ensure that communities are educated, informed, as well as made aware of many of the critical issues that continue to evolve within our society. I wanted to share with you as well, we are honored because we have been a partner of the Washington Informer for a significant portion of that time. You have been a major vehicle in ensuring that we're able to stay connected as well as communicating with our customers. So wanting to recognize your commitment and really wanting to share for Denise, continuing the rich and the long-term history of your parents and continuing to have a newspaper in this particular area that ensures inclusivity, sharing the stories, sharing the images, and presenting a perspective that is not always captured. And most importantly, I wanted to note, you have done something that is really challenging in the context that there are very few, as you know, African American newspapers that are still in existence today, or any type of news medium. So wanting to recognize your commitment to ensuring that African Americans continue to have a voice, that their stories are shared, as well as their perspectives. So you are to be commended, your team and your staff, and recognized. So we're honored to have been a partner and looking forward to another 50 plus more years. Thank you for all that you're doing. Congratulations on 56 years. Thank you.
Where do you come to get all you